There were many factors which were taken into consideration when the Minimum Wage Commission tasked with arriving at proposed figures for the new minimum wage in Saint Lucia. After many consultations between the Minimum Wage Commission and various sectors in Saint Lucia, the Commission arrived at a preliminary $6.50 an hour and $1,146 monthly as the proposed minimum wage. Chartered Accountant Richard Peterkin says, given these consultations to inform the private sector of how they arrived at those figures, there are still some areas of concern and risk factors which may rear their heads down the line.
They're using a one-size-fits-all, 650 across the board. No distinction between the type of job, the part of the world you come from or the part of the country, the sector that you're in, whether you're in tourism or whatever. One cap fits all. And so, in fact, when you have that approach, it does not always take into consideration the differences within our economy, the different sectors, etc.
He also foresees small businesses may have some issues with compliance. However, he believes that there should be a level of adaptability in various sectors.
But at the same time, we have to accept that businesses, they can adapt generally. If you start off with a level that is reasonable, not too far above what might be the low in some instances, then businesses might be able to adapt. They might have to absorb some of those increases, but over time, and then that minimum becomes achievable and everybody's happy. Moderate wage increases don't necessarily affect inflation because in the case of inflation, it's more a case of you might want to increase your prices, but if other competitors are not, then you are forced to keep the prices. So that's bound to be an increase.
Despite this, Peterkin notes a lot of employers, upon doing their calculations, will find that they are already paying staff above the recommended minimum wage.
So I'm hoping that, as usual, once there is a process of actually working out these numbers before they're being legally implemented, and some consultation with people having the freedom to put in their 2 cents worth, that in fact we will arrive at a number that will have some disruption, but it will not be major. It will not affect our inflation or our economic growth, and we will learn to live with that, and the whole process of arriving at adjustments to that minimum wage over time.
He went on to say it is his belief that not many people is against the implementation of a minimum wage and see it as a form of safety net and social blanket.
A living wage empowers workers. It reduces reliance on social safety nets. So government doesn't have to put money out, programs to pay people to top up pensions and other things. And it does acknowledge pay. Overall, however, a minimum wage legislation prioritizes social equity and well-being. And if in fact there is an increase in the level of wage that people are getting, then yes, that could have an impact in their expenditure, which could help the cost of living.
He claims that the purpose of the minimum wage is to guarantee that people receive a pay that does not fall below a particular threshold and does not place undue restrictions on the economy as a whole. For Choice News Now, I am Chelsea Austinay.